Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, along with the Hall of Fame coach and athletic director of Tulsa Public Schools, Gil Cloud, and the Hall of Fame legend himself, J.B. Haney. And, Coach, we got a legend to start the show with in coaching.
You know, really, when we talk about Bill Young, who recently retired at the University of Tulsa, but he has coached football from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. But what he has been able to do, and on a high school level as well as a college level, has just been incredible.
We're tying after 50 years in coaching. We have some great stories with Bill Young coming up. And also, we've been trying to get this guy on the show for a long time. Finally, with football season over, James Hale made the trip from Norman, Oklahoma. He is the expert when it comes to inside Oklahoma football. We'll talk with James Hale not only about the past season, but what's ahead for the Sooners.
And, of course, the TPS Athletic Hall of Fame, the 7th annual. And our special guest will be Larry Miller, former coach, former administrator, and now the swim guru in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He'll be on the show and be inducted tomorrow night.
Any tickets left for that Hall of Fame on Thursday night in Tulsa?
There's always tickets available. You know, I had one year when I was at Union, and my security guard said, well, Coach, I think we've got 10,000 in, that's it. And I said, do we have tickets? And he said, yeah. I said, we didn't tell them they could sit down. Just tell them a ticket.
Looking forward to the TPS Hall of Fame. All right, guys, roundtable discussion. Let's start with the NFL, the playoffs, and kind of things are pretty much the way the seedings were, 1 and 2.
Top seeds all won.
Yeah.
You know, and they're 1-2, the top 4 teams in the National Football League. And, you know, as we talked earlier before we went on tonight, it was interesting. We always talk about defense wins football, but it looks like offense wins football in the National Football League.
Unbelievable. That Kansas City Chief, how about that quarterback of theirs, huh? Mahomes?
Well, you know, when you look at the quarterbacks, so all 4 of the teams that are in there, and I can't remember now, maybe it's happened, but I can't remember 4 of the very best making it into the Final 4. But when you look at this, and I'm prejudiced, wouldn't you like to see Kansas City and New Orleans?
Ah, see there? Oh, you pick here.
I got it. Okay. Well, you know, Henry would.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yes,
Henry Primo, he was down there for that game where
they
came back and won their football game.
Well, they were down 14-zip
and
20 unanswered points to win 14.
How about, is Brady ever going to get old? The Patriots just destroyed the Chargers 41-28.
They operate, they're so well coached.
Oh, geez, yeah.
You know, they don't make any mistakes. And they're going to make you make mistakes and beat you with your mistakes. And when you got a tactician like Brady who can throw the football as accurate as he does, even at 40 years old, you've got a chance to win because they're always going to be sound offensively and defensively.
So we're set for the conference championships now, and starting on January 20th at 2:05 on Fox. Of course, they're going to play the early game in a dome. The LA Rams and New Orleans take on the Saints. Our man Henry Primo will be there cheering on his Saints. And then it'll be the AFC Championship game in Arrowhead Stadium. It's supposed to be 8 degrees outside with New England and Kansas City. And that's the game I can hardly wait to see.
Well, the thing about it, though, they're both used to that.
Yeah.
Kansas City played in the snow this last week.
That's right, yeah.
And New England, when they kick off, even though the sun was out, it was 27 degrees in New England. So.
And Super Bowl Sunday is February the 3rd on CBS from Atlanta, the big Mercedes-Benz Stadium there. Super Bowl 53. Coach, you already have 2 teams that can go to the Super Bowl?
Well, the 2 teams that I think is going to go is ones I mentioned a while ago. Kansas City and New Orleans. I really think. Now, when you take a look really at what's going to be occurring with New England, it's about time that they didn't make it.
They're awful tough, though, Coach. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think Kansas City will win. I really do. I think Mahomes is destined to have a great game. He's played well through the playoffs. Brady is going to be solid, and I think in this case it does come down to defense. I think there's who can stop the other better quarterback. I mean, that's the key.
Well, pro football taking the spotlight right now, but of course we're always talking college football in Oklahoma. And Kyler Murray finally made his decision. He has announced, yes, he is entering the NFL draft. So what does that do? Except the fact we know now he no longer will be at the University of Oklahoma.
He won't be at the University of Oklahoma. I'm sure the Oakland A's are not happy today. They made a trip to Norman to try to talk him out of that. Yeah. He made public that he wanted $15 million, and if he had $15 million from the A's, he would not go into draft. Well, obviously he didn't get his $15 million because he's going in the draft. Now, I heard the pundits talking about that. It was okay if he did that because he would make more for a shorter period of time as a football player than he would be as a baseball player. So, will he be successful? Who knows? Everybody they say is too short.
Yeah.
Doug Flutie was too short but played. I mean, you look around the league and all those the Sproles, the little running back.
Yeah.
He's too little to play when he played at K-State.
Sure, right.
He played at K-State, made all Big 12.
Yeah.
Now he's all pro. I mean, so it's all in the heart. You can't measure the heart.
What's amazing is that Kyler Murray, coach, would be the first in the history of sports to be a number 1 draft pick in the Major League Baseball, and he's going to be a number 1 draft pick in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, you think Kingsbury is true to his word now that he is the coach of the Arizona Cardinals? Remember, he talking before the Texas Tech OU game. If I had a number 1 pick in the NFL, I would take Kyler Murray. Will he do that, do you think, in the NFL, though?
Put up or shut up.
That's right,
at this point, I mean, and isn't that an interesting situation?
Oh, my gosh.
The guy has a losing record in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And yet, they hire him to a head job in the National Football League.
They want that big offense, coach.
I couldn't understand that.
Yeah.
That was incredible, really.
All want a flashy offense. Mike Gundy got himself a raise, coach. Had to be pleased with that. He got an automatic $125,000 rollover, another year added to his contract. From 2023, his contract runs now, and no question, Mike's great success at Oklahoma State.
I think it's been very interesting on Mike Gundy and what he has been talking, and really in the last month, about how happy he is in coaching. Of course, when you're making what?
$5 million plus? Yeah.
That
in
would
Stillwater, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I think that would make me happy as well.
And, of course, the big event in Tulsa, wrapping things up for the week, starting this past Monday night, going all the way through Saturday night, the Chili Bowl. And I had no idea. I was at their press conference on Monday, and a lot of people from the business community were there. Ray Hoyt, our friend, Tulsa Sports Commission, was there. He talked about the economic impact this Chili Bowl has in Tulsa. $30 million economic impact of this event. It attracts people all over the country, all over the world.
When he was on last week, it was really interesting to hear all of the diversity of the drivers, where they come from, and how many of them are here. And the impact it has in Tulsa is unbelievable. And I remember back in the old days when we had the raceway on the fairgrounds.
Yeah, right.
Before everybody got into noise abatement and all those other things that they didn't want. But Emmett's done a great job for dirt track racing, and he's also done a great job for the city of Oklahoma.
But hasn't it been just remarkable how that it has spread through his efforts to where now drivers all over the United States, they want to come to Tulsa to his race.
320 cars, over 1,000 drivers. They are literally, you're right, from all over the country, from all over the world.
Yeah.
And all of them talking at the press conference on Monday said, this is the premier event in motor racing on the dirt. And everybody's come after this group. They talked about the Lucas Big Dome in Indianapolis wanted it. The Houston Astrodome wants it. The big stadium in Atlanta wants it. But Emmett Hahn is sticking. He said nobody can do this as well as Expo Square, though, because of all the room they have there for the pits and all the stuff they have there.
Well, he talks about how many loads of dirt they got to bring in to make the course right. I think he's worked at it, making it better, because they've started a day early, so they have fewer races on the dirt, so they can maintain the integrity of the track. I think he's always looking for that next best thing he can do to continue that in Tulsa.
And Emmett Hahn, he has been such a remarkable person in putting on, back when he was doing it outside, as we mentioned, that it's just been incredible what he's done. So I'm really not surprised.
No.
Has 7 drivers have won these Golden Driller trophies, their top award and stuff. They're all back from the championship. They got an incredible guys from NASCAR. Tony Stewart is back here again. Here's now retired, of course, from NASCAR driving, but one of the top drivers in the world. I know.
Said he wouldn't miss it. That's amazing. These named drivers that come back to race inside in Expo Square. It's amazing.
And I tell you, for the audience, I don't know how they do it, because it is loud. It is a little on the smoky side. They say they do a lot with ventilation, but I tell you, you got to be some kind of fan. It's something else.
Well, the thing about it too, you can't be upset if you get dirty.
That's right.
Isn't that what Becky said?
Yeah, it took Becky to her first Chili Bowl. She goes, somebody threw something. I got dirt on me. The guy in front of us said, "Well, honey, that's just the dirt from those tires." Becky said, "We're out of here.
We're moving."
And that was the end of that and stuff. So yeah, she didn't appreciate the Chili Bowl. I said, "Honey, they're giving you pit passes." I don't do pits. Yeah, she's not that type of girl with that type. But you have a great time. Go out to the Chili Bowl. And I guess make it early, though, because the rest of the time it's sold out, right, Gil?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said you might be able to find some standing room only tickets, but it's sold out. All the VIP seats are sold out. And what a tribute. And I tell you what, don't try to find a motel room in Tulsa. With 1,000 drivers and all of the support people that they have, it is a busy, busy week in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
A very, very special guest is coming up with us. We're looking forward to having Bill Young on. Bill, of course, for 50 years has been a football coach. Listen to some of these schools. It just blows my mind, so coach. Of course, TU, obviously, OU, OSU, Iowa State, Arizona State, Ohio State, USC, Kansas, Miami of Florida, and throw in a couple high schools in Oklahoma, too, right?
You know, and I told him when we talked as he arrived here this evening, I said, now, don't be like me and flunk retirement. I flunked it 3 times. You know, he's not going to, I think. I think he's going to enjoy being at home with Luana and just being a regular person for a difference.
And you're going to enjoy hearing all these stories with Coach Bill Young. 2 segments with the legendary TU football coach in his retirement. That's coming up straight ahead on Bricktown Brewery's Oklahoma Sportscene. Oklahoma Sportscene wants to welcome our newest title sponsor, SNB Burger Joints. The home of fresh-made gourmet burgers and sliders, great sides, hand-dipped milkshakes, root beer and soda floats, and delicious homemade pies. All served with a fun and friendly staff, and we feature a full-service bar with over 65 beers and our unique Bloody Marys. SNB Burger Joint in the Oklahoma City area and coming soon to Tulsa.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
A very special guest on Oklahoma Sportscene here at the Bricktown Brewery in Tulsa is Bill Young. Coach Cott, I can't imagine anybody who knows or done more in football than this guy right here, Bill Young.
No question. Bill, you finished 50, and next year will be my 50th. So
is that right?
Yeah, you bet.
How about that?
Isn't it great to be into something you love to go to every day?
Yeah, I don't know what else I could have ever done.
Bill, you've done all the schools in Oklahoma then, right? OU, OSU, and TU. Talk about that some.
Oh, I mean, I'm very, very fortunate to have been able to do that. I've started to go back and do 2 of them twice. You know, I was at Oklahoma State twice, and obviously here at Tulsa twice.
Played at Oklahoma State. OSU grad in 1968, 3-year defensive starter for the Cowboys. And the first assistant stat, I remember you back with John Cooper when John Cooper was here back in the early 80s, right?
Yes,
Talk about the experience with John Cooper. And
it was tremendous. I got here in 1980. I'd been at Iowa State, and athletic director had coached John at Iowa State when he was a player, and he helped me get on here, and that was 5 of the best years of my life as a coach. I mean, John, I worked for John for 16 years, an unbelievable man and great family person and all, and yeah, we won 5 championships when we were here, so that made things a lot better.
I knew John when I was at K-State when he was at KU, and he recruited Southeast Kansas, and I recruited Southeast Kansas. And one night we had a deal over at Topeka, and John tried every way in the world to get me to tell what our defense was going to be this next year. It was a golf tournament. And I said, hey, John, I'm not telling you. I'm just absolutely not going to tell you. But you're right. What a great guy. And what a great guy for the University of Tulsa. It was really a good time.
He was at Oklahoma 96 to 97, Oklahoma State 2009 2012. And I love the fact these other stops, Bill, amazing. Iowa State, Arizona State, Ohio State, USC, Kansas, Miami of Florida. Great members in all of them, I'm sure. But any really stick out or some of your favorite stops?
No, I think I loved every one of them, to be honest with you. It's kind of where you're at the moment, know. But I'm just really, really fortunate to be able to build
always the defensive side of the ball, your specialty?
Yes, I coached defense. My first year at Oklahoma State, first 2 years, I was an offensive line coach.
Right.
But not by choice.
You mentioned John Cooper. Of course, you work for so many real good head coaches, but those maybe that still stand out that you remember things that maybe some of the others didn't do?
Well, I think, John was just such a good person, and I had the fortune here to work for Monty, Philip Montgomery,
Yes.
and unbelievable good man. I mean, he loves his players and really involved. Just, he and John had a lot of the same characteristics, and it was just special being able to work for both of them.
And OU staff, who you head coach at OU? Who's the
head coach there was
96, 97?
Oh man,
Gary Gibbs.
That's amazing.
Gibbs?
No, it wasn't Gibbs.
Not John Blake, was it?
Yeah, John Blake. Thank
okay,
you.
yeah.
I mean, I can't believe I couldn't remember that.
Well, I don't know how you could remember any of this, Bill, because he listen, it's 50 years coaching, 10 universities, 3 Oklahoma high schools, 1 NFL team, the Detroit Lions, but of course involved the Oklahoma high school football team. You were head coach at UConn for a season, right?
Head coach at UConn. I got my start coaching at Carl Albert for Jim Harris, another outstanding football coach.
Man, you bet.
Then I went over to Putnam City West and worked for Gary Webb, and then Mike Little, who's in the Sports Hall of Fame.
Think we can get him in the TPS system?
Well, he didn't go to one of our schools yet. But he could come back as an adjunct coach.
That's right. What made you finally decide this was the year you wanted to retire, Bill?
Well, I think it really come down to the fact that, you want to work as long as you feel like you're really doing a good job. And we backed off a couple of years here at Tulsa, and I think I was more of a problem than I was an asset.
The defensive side of the ball was the strength of this Tulsa football team on the JV.
That's right.
Yeah.
You bet.
Right, I had some notes here. The total defense, 2018 defense was just amazing statistics here, Coach. I was so impressed with this, though, too. I think that you did such a great job with all of your stats here. And the Tulsa football team had cut the yardage way down, more turnovers and stuff. The defense was a strength of that TU team this past season.
Well, we had some awfully good players. We really did, and that's what it's all about. I mean, the year before we had a ton of injuries on defense, and this year we had a ton of injuries on offense. Yeah. So, I mean, the whole thing is being able to keep those people healthy. I know coached on a team that won 12 games, and we started the first game with the same starters that started the 13th game, So.
Gee whiz, yeah.
Number 7 in the nation in pass defense. Oh, you would have loved to have that, Coach. Allowed 120 fewer yards per game than they had in 2017. Did a heck of a job, you and your entire staff, Coach.
Well, what happened, we got 4 defensive starters in the secondary hurt the year before, so, I mean, it made us weak in the secondary, and we gave up a lot of passing yards. Got them back, and all of a sudden we got to be better coaches.
With 50 years of coaching, now when you went in, it was considerably different than it was when you left. How did you adjust yourself during that period of time? I coached for 30 years, and I couldn't. But you have done it 50. So how did you adjust the different changes?
Well, I think it would amaze people to know what football was like in 1969 when I started. We played Lawton MacArthur, and they got in a tight end and twin set, and we hadn't seen that formation. Now everything's empty quads. I mean, the formations are out of sight. But back then, you saw pro formation or 2 tight ends and a flanker, and I mean, you lined up and you played.
Yeah.
And now you got 19,000 different formations and shifts and motions, but it's a gradual process over the period of time. You just kind of coach and adjust as you go.
The evolution of coaching and offensive football over the past 5 or 6 years has just gone crazy. And now we've seen, I think, to a certain extent, has gone into the National Football League, which we never thought would ever happen. What do you think about that?
Well, when I was at the Detroit Lions, I'd been in college all that time, and we lined up out there and played, and they got 50-some odd players suited up for a game. When you generally got 100 and something. You play Nebraska back when they were running the option and all, and Osborne and all. And they'd have 150 guys. They'd run 8 guys out to the hash and then turn around and go back. And you didn't know if they were in 2 tight ends and a flanker, if they were in 4 wide receivers. In the NFL, everybody lined up and pretty much played the same offense and defense. And so much more simple. Plus, you got videos of it in the press box. You got still pictures of 12 captures of each play. You could see exactly how they were lined up and what play they ran and how they blocked it.
Now they got the tablets on the sideline. I mean, they got everything.
Eventually, we'll get that in college football. Right now, you don't.
Right.
Do you ever think you'd see head football coaches making these 8 $5-7 million salaries?
No.
I'm
Never.
Bill. It just
I don't know whatever happened when I started way too early in coaching. I can tell you. I heard Coach mention, his first salary. My salary at Carl Albert was $7,000, but my house payment was $150.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It is amazing and how it's changed over the years in such coaching, but also the arms race. You have to have facilities to get good these kids, don't you?
It really is. It's become that. I know Boone Pickens changed the whole face of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
absolutely.
I played there and coached there, and then come back and coached there. Different place, you know.
Mentality, it changes that, and as you recruit over the last, say, 10 years, how's recruiting changed?
Well, I mean, it's changed quite a bit. I mean, it's really gone to national recruiting. Even at Tulsa, we're gone national. It used to be you'd recruit your state. If you were at Oklahoma State, you'd recruit Texas heavily, and then Oklahoma, and then you might venture out to New Mexico or somewhere to get a great player. But now, I mean, you're going coast to coast.
Well, with social media and everything out there, there's no reason why you can't contact them coast to coast.
Yeah, and they have rivals and 247 different recruiting services. You pretty much know where the players are.
Right.
We come back, a whole other segment with Coach Bill Young. After 50 years retiring as football coach at the University of Tulsa, we talked to him about what's good and what's bad about college football and the outlook for 2019 for the Golden Hurricane. He's still close to them too, obviously. So stay with us. Bill Young, segment 2 is straight ahead.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Every minute, every day, and every night, there's someone who needs us. Every week and every year, we bring something new to the way we care for individuals and our communities. Every thought and every action is spent improving the way we imagine health and wellness. Because every child, every woman, and every man deserves the best possible life. St. Francis Health System. Healthcare for life.
It's a great new year at Primo Mitsubishi. We're off to a big start and will continue in 2019. Come see our entire inventory of new 2018 and 19 Mitsubishis. Eclipse Cross, Mirage, Outlander Sport, Outlander, and Outlander PHEV. All come with Mitsubishi's new technology, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and our concierge service. Come see us at Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial, Bixby, or on the web at primomitsubishi.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene, brought to you by Bricktown Brewery, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 3300 South Peoria and Brookside. And we're continuing now with our special guest, Bill Young. Bill, tell us about what you think not Oklahoma State, but the University of Tulsa looks like for next year.
I think you got a chance to have a really good football team. They got several starters back on offense and defense, and the whole key is going to be able to stay healthy, and have the same guys playing the whole season. But it should be a really exciting year for them.
That quarterback who transferred last year from Baylor, had to sit out last year, was really highly regarded in the Big 12. Talk about him.
Well, he was our scout team quarterback, and I'm not sure we played a quarterback better than him.
Zach Smith, right?
Zach Smith, and he's a big guy. He's 6'3", 230, very, very sharp, has good feet, moves around, and can really, really spin the football.
Now, we know nobody can replace Bill Young, but Joseph Gillespie is the new defensive coordinator. Been on the staff. Talk about Coach Gillespie, how I think he'll deal with the defense.
I think he'll do a great job. I talked to him today, and he said they were missing me like a headache. And, he'll do a tremendous job. Very, very sharp guy, really detail-oriented, and I'm real excited for him.
Well, Bill, will you do anything for them, maybe from a standpoint of doing some scouting or things of that nature, or are you totally gone?
I'm pretty much totally gone, but I'll be up in the stands and I'll be yelling, "Why'd you call that?" When it's good, I'll say that's good.
Well, that's good.
Let's go with what's right with college football at this point, and what's wrong with college football.
I think there's so many things that are right with college football. I think it's such a great game. The thing that kind of worries me a little bit, and nobody cares what I think about it, but at the same time, the players transferring, now if I'm at Oklahoma, I'm going to think that's a great deal,
right,
having the quarterbacks that they've had transfer in. But, it used to be such an important thing to, sell out for your teammates. And now you got guys not playing in bowl games and things of that nature. I'm going to go play in the pros. And some of them, unfortunately, won't even play in the pros. I mean, a lot of the kids have such a false sense of security in their ability that they think they're going to be NFL players, but they don't.
Yeah. But do they, in any way, do they feel like sometimes that you should change the rules in football where once they come in, they got to stay for 3 years?
Well, I thought it was that, I'm sure that you can transfer and set a year and do things like that. But, I don't know what's best. I just, in my own little mind, I worry that, that you're losing a lot of that camaraderie and spirit of the football team.
One of the depth things, though, Bill, don't you think, is when we went to 85 scholarships and cut down, and you talked about injuries, and you can't afford, if you play two platoon football, which everybody does. I mean, you've got 44 people right there, and if you try to redshirt people and so on and so forth, you get 4 or 5 hurt. I mean, you could be in trouble early.
Well, Clemson was really, really fortunate. They lost their quarterback to a transfer, and then the next game, the guy gets hurt. Now, if that had been a season-ending injury, you probably wouldn't have seen them in the national championship winning it. I mean, it can change the whole face of your program pretty quick.
American Athletic Conference, outside the Power 5. Do you ever see these teams, conferences outside Power 5, getting an opportunity to play in the big dance? Do you think they'll expand this playoff eventually?
Well, I think they will. I think they're going to have to. I mean, too many good teams are getting left out. Ohio State and people like that got left out.
Pac-12 champion got left out, Big Ten champion.
Exactly. And, it would only create about a week or so, extending the season, and I just think it would be good for football.
I think what they're going to have to find out, bottom line, is how they're going to get more money. That's always the case. They talked about that. We've talked about it on the show. The NCAA really does not run this championship like they do basketball and baseball and everything else. And so those people, they want to keep that money. As a Division II director of athletics, when we declared that we were going to play basketball, we got a part of the CBS basketball contract just for playing basketball, men and women's basketball, because the Constitution says that you must share the revenue from the NCAA. Well, that one is not an NCAA championship, so it all stays with those schools.
Exactly.
50 years is in college football and high school football and coaching out the state of Oklahoma, and both Oklahoma State, and the University of Tulsa, of course, he's best known for. And I loved his retirement plans. The story in the paper Kelly Hines had said the coach says, do nothing for a month, no alarm clock, sleep in, and then catch up on 2 years of honey-do's with Luana.
Yeah.
How you doing on that so far, Coach?
So far, I'm doing a good job of doing nothing,
Of course, we have something for you here from Bricktown Brewery.
Yeah, great.
There's your dinner. Wow. Jump in, enjoy yourself. And we have another one for you here, too, Coach. We'll give Luana this one.
You stay around here, and we'll see you at Bricktown sometime.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
And while he's enjoying that burger, let me tell you something about Bricktown Brewery, of course. They are always time for the comfort foods at Bricktown Brewery. Let you know they have the Becky's Turkey Reuben sandwich, one of the specials this month. Also, how about 3 of these favorites put together? Listen to this, Coach. Mac and cheese inside a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup. Also, mac and grilled cheese and tomato soup on its own. These favorites also, we like Big Mike's meatloaf sandwich. We have the brewery chicken fried chicken, hand-built pork or pulled pork sandwich, and the double Bricktown Burger. Coach in the Bricktown Burger right now there. So come out and enjoy this at Bricktown Brewery locations all around the state of Oklahoma. We know you'll enjoy it. We sure enjoy having them as our title sponsor here. Bill Young, jump in there. Enjoy your burger. All right. Back with more on Oklahoma Sports Scene right after this break. How's it?
That's delicious, Doc.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary. And here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then, of course, the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Welcome back to Bricktown Brewery and Bricktown's Oklahoma Sportscene. We're so glad finally to catch up with this guy. It's not easy to bring him from Norman, Oklahoma. He is the guy who knows more about OU football and OU athletics than anybody. A great longtime friend, James. James, welcome to Sportscene.
Hey, Chris, it's always great.
Coming up, buddy.
I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get here. I'm glad I'm here, man.
Well, he is now with KREF Radio, of course, in Norman. Also, a diehard Sooner Report and the Football Brainiacs. How about that for a resume, huh?
Boy, Brainiac.
I know, I like that.
That really upped our IQ, I think.
It did.
So tell us all the inside. What's going on? What's going on with Jim? What's going on with Kyler Murray? What's going on with Austin Kendall? Give us a scoop here.
Man, there's so many things that are going on with OU right now. The coaching search, who they're going to hire. I think I've got it, who they're going to hire, but, they haven't announced anything, so they're still checking everything out. But, it looks like, since he's brought in Alex Grinch, he's going to allow
Ohio State, right?
That's correct.
Right, okay.
He's going to allow Grinch to, bring in a couple of his guys. Okay. Roy Manning from UCLA is a guy that's coached linebackers and things, and he's coached corners one year, but it looks like he's going to coach corners here, which is interesting. And he's hired Brian Odom, who's from Ada, played running back at OU in 2000.
Missouri, right?
And he's at Missouri as an outside linebacker coach.
Yeah.
But he'll come to OU, and it looks like he's going to coach inside linebackers. Now, Bobby Jack Wright always told me, and Bob Stoops too, and Barry Switzer, a coach is a coach. They can coach anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out because they're moving guys around on this staff. And then you have Kyler Murray declaring today.
Yep.
And not surprised, Kyler's using his head. That's the smartest thing to do.
Which officially puts him in of his OU eligibility.
That's correct. That's the only thing that does.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that the A's would go down and work some kind of magic, and the caveat would be, okay, come and play for us. We'll give you an additional $10 million, and you can play for the Sooners next year. But I guess that didn't work out.
Yeah. But what a season for Kyler Murray, the Oklahoma football team in 2018. But again, it ends with the disappointment in the semifinals. And what lessons do we learn along the way?
They got to get better on defense. They've had iconic quarterbacks, iconic offenses the last 2 years. And I know, I really believe Lincoln thought that you could win football games in today's football that way. But he's found out you've got to get better on defense. If Oklahoma had just been as good as, as 40th in the country, but they were 127.
Yeah.
And, and they just didn't have enough of a defensive presence to get any stops in the second half when they needed to. The offense would claw back. They'd get within 11. They need a stop. They couldn't get it. And that happened twice. He tried onside kicks. He tried different things, but in the end, he just wasn't good enough there. So, unfortunately, coaches lose their jobs, and, you got new guys coming in, and he tried everything. I mean, when you fire an iconic coach like Mike Stoops in midseason, you're trying to do whatever you can to salvage the year. Well, he did. He got into the semifinals, but they aren't quite good enough to get to the national championship game, and he's got to rev up the defense, and so he's trying a new guy.
Something, though, James, when you say that he salvaged the season and he made the Final Four.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Really. 12-2.
Lincoln has already proven that he's an elite coach. He's having, obviously this is a little bit of a trying time because he and Mike Stoops are great friends. They're buddies.
Yeah.
And he had to do that. And it's because everything around Mike seemed to be toxic.
Right.
I don't know if OU's defense improved a lot under Ruffin McNeil, but Ruffin is a mentor of his. And, and he's always told me Ruffin is the best defensive coach that he knows. So, he goes that route. But again, I don't know. But the atmosphere wasn't toxic anymore. That was good. The guys believed in themselves a little bit more. And they did make some plays in the second half of the year to help them win some games. But, I knew that they would have to make some changes. And, and they've kept Calvin Thibodeau and Ruffin McNeil from last year's staff. So that's good. And they'll coach the defensive line. And they'll just have a new linebacker coach. And Grinch will coach the secondary along with Roy Manning.
Do you think that they will try to bolster their defense with junior college players?
No, I don't think so. They've got a lot of young talent there. So they redshirted a lot of guys in the defensive line. Now, if they could find a great junior college or a great graduate transfer defensive tackle, they would take that. if they could find a safety that they think is going to be a first or second round draft choice, they would do that. But in the meantime, you got to hope Robert Barnes continues to grow and get better. Delarian Turner-Yell, you got to hope he gets healthy, and and Patrick Fields right here in Tulsa, played great when he had to come in when Barnes got hurt. I thought he was spectacular. He finished with 6 tackles in half a game, so he was really, really good. But what they're going to do with Grinch is a downhill coach. He's an aggressive coach. He's tried to take what the offenses do, and he's tried to come up with a defense that maxes that. So you have offenses that are always reading plays, calling plays at the line of scrimmage. Well, he's calling plays at the line of scrimmage. He's changing his defense's look. He's stunning. Then they'll stun again when the ball's snapped. And he's trying to get that quarterback confused, and it's worked. I mean, at Washington State, they went from 11 turnovers in one year to 23, 25, and 29 the final year. Like Oklahoma only had 11 turnovers last year. When you think about it, Ricky Dixon had 9 interceptions his year, last year in 1987, and he almost had more turnovers in 1 year than the whole defense did in 2019. So 18.
Coach.
But the thing that gets me is when they played Alabama, for 3 quarters they won the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, had it not been for that first quarter.
Right.
And what was said about that?
Well, they got up to such a slow start. It was almost like,
why would he kick the ball? You're the best offense in college football. Why start the game by kicking it to Alabama?
Yeah.
And the first play goes 50 yards.
I bet you when you get him on your show, he's going to tell you if he had it back to do it again. But Lincoln had watched that defense work all bowl prep, and they were fired up. I think he really felt we're much improved. We're going to go show everybody. They'll get the ball back. And boy, it didn't work. They scored I think they scored in 4 plays.
That's right. Sell out.
Yeah.
If we do well, then it's going to set the tone for the game.
Yeah. I would have rather and I'm sure he'll tell you that now. I would have rather he put their best foot forward. Kyler, go get them. Let's score a touchdown, and let's give the defense, something fired up and get them to go. But they in 17 minutes they got behind 28-0, and and then they won the rest of the game. The frustrating thing is that, again, when the offense got them back in the game and they had chances in the second half, the defense couldn't come up with a stop. Then Alabama would drive down and score. And boy, the offense would fight back, get them back within 11. One stop, we're back in the game, and they can't get there.
Talk about 2019. The outlook, of course, the quarterback situation. Kyler Murray's gone. Looks like Kendall Austin is going to gone. Tanner Mordecai, I don't know anything about him. And, of course, everybody's talked about this incredible freshman coming in, number 1 rated quarterback, Spencer Rattler from Arizona.
Well, Spencer's really talented. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've seen. I've been covering recruiting for a while, not as long as Coach Young over there, but I mean, he's really, he can really spin it. He can really throw it. Every event or combine he's gone to, he's come out of that the number 1 player. He's won MVP and all those things. Now he's just got to translate it to the next level. But he'll run into Tanner Mordecai, who was a 3-star quarterback that Lincoln went down and just fell in love with. Took him 2 days to recruit him, basically got him. And you've already seen him play. He was really good. He's got no fear. I think he's got a little Baker Mayfield in him. He kind of plays like him. Let's go get it. It's us against the world. Let's go play.
Is that Alabama quarterback coming, Justin Hurt? 24-2 at Alabama, of course, played in 2 national championship games.
Well, they brought him in on that stealth mission. How do you bring in a national championship quarterback from Alabama that we all know his face, right? And you don't see him anywhere around town or anywhere else. So they had him off campus, and because he doesn't care what the facilities look like. He doesn't care that there's a basketball game. Hey, just tell me how I'm going to fit into your offense and show me some film, and let's see how that works. Who are my receivers? Who am I? And he knows who they are. But hey, can I watch them a little bit? And am I going to be the starting quarterback?
And by the way, the last 2 that have transferred to Oklahoma and come here have won the Heisman Trophy.
That's exactly right.
Not too bad.
And so they're telling you, and I think that there's now that Kyler Murray's gone, we're going to find out how much. But I think there's a great chance he's going to be there.
The last thing I want to ask, the last final minute here, too, is so thrilled to see going into the College Football Hall of Fame, Ricky Dixon. What a great show. That really, I know Coach Switzer was just broken up about it.
Well, Ricky's, health. He's got ALS, and what a tragic disease. And I'm glad more money's, flowing in to fight that disease. But Ricky's still got that great smile. It's still, he's one of the most dynamic players I've ever seen. Played as a freshman, was so fast, a legit 4.3 guy. Had great hands. Great, not many DBs catch the ball, like a receiver, but he did. He was fantastic doing that. It's great. Now let's just hope and pray that his health maintains enough that, Coach Switzer will put him on a private plane. He'll hire the medical team. They'll do whatever they need to do. And he's hoping that he can get him to New York, and even in his wheelchair, that people can recognize him. Yeah. Let's all hope that happens.
Okay, now, how can the fans get in touch with what you do and all the insider information that you provide people?
Well, go to Patreon. It's Die Hard Sooner Report. It's a podcast site that I've developed. The Football Brainiacs in Norman, I do that. And, of course, you can listen at 1400, sportstalk1400.com. Every day I'm on 11 to 2 every day, Monday through Friday.
That's up the trip up here.
And don't go past Bricktown without using one of these cars.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us, James. I'm going to talk to you about another one of our sponsors, title sponsors, which is Jimmy's Egg. By the way, look, an app.
Oh, my.
An app on my phone. There's the Jimmy's Egg app. And now watch this. Becky, show me how to do this. I touch this up here. Aha! Main menu. All the things on this app provide you at Jimmy's Egg. You view the menu. You can order online, get coupons, specials, rewards, all kinds of cool stuff. So
coupons.
Go to Jimmy's Egg. How do I get back there? Well, it's like a coupon. How do I get back to this Jimmy's Egg there? Yeah, well, anyway.
You got eggs.
I know it. And, of course, Jimmy's Egg open from 6 to 2, breakfast, lunch, anytime you want it during the day. Go to Jimmy's Egg. They're all over the state of Oklahoma. And one of our great sponsors, Oklahoma Sportscene. Back with more right after this.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Triple Crowns in the last 4 years have reawakened America to the magnificent thoroughbred. And now, we've got our own triple to celebrate. 3 decades of excitement. And it's not too late for you to get in on the action. Plan your holiday party or any event you like at Remington, and we'll make sure it's chock full of mouth-watering food, drinks that hit the spot, and all the casino and racing action you can handle. Remington's 30th. Thoroughly thrilling.
Ditchwitch, 5 words or less.
Making the impossible possible.
Technology you can't live without.
Most versatile equipment ever made.
Customer service and support.
Reliable, productive, ground-chewing machines.
We're in this together.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene, brought to you by Bricktown Brewery, and we're here at Bricktown Brewery at 33rd in Peoria, and we got a very special guest. One of our newest Hall of Famers going into Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Hall of Fame, longtime coach and administrator, Larry Miller. Larry, welcome to Sports Scene.
Well, thanks for having me here.
And welcome to the Hall of Fame. How about that, huh, Larry?
Oh, yeah. It's very humbling.
Well, my gosh.
Very humbling.
Give us some of your Tulsa Public Schools background that got you in the Hall of Fame here.
Well, I started in 1959 at Tulsa Hale, coaching football. And it was really, really fun. I had to teach 4 classes and 3 sports.
Yeah.
So, and I did it for $4,600 a year. Things have changed a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I left Hale in '67, went to Booker T.
Yeah.
Volunteered to go to Booker T. What an experience. I loved that place. I got to coach with Ed Lacey.
Oh, legend, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And treated me great. And we had won 5 state championships.
Wow.
And I tell everybody it was all coaching, but you know better than that.
Yeah.
But we had some great, great athletes. They treated me like a son. They really did. I really had a great experience there. And left there and went to Memorial 1 year and left there. And then they asked me if I wanted to handle a dropout school. For all Tulsa Public School kids, that 16 to 21, that were kicked out of school.
Oh gosh,
and I did that 6 years. Oh, wow. I loved it.
Gosh.
And we were there 6 years.
Yeah.
And left there and retired.
Not really retired though, did he, JB?
No. You know, the thing that really it's always amazed me, regardless of where you were officially designated as a football coach, but there were always football kids coming to you. You were working with them when you were not assigned the particular job.
That's right. That's correct.
And that to me is that's just a big pat on the back to you.
Well, I enjoy doing it.
Yes.
I still do it. I love those kids. I love to see their progress. And they kind of jump up a notch or two, maturing. I worked with the coaches that they were going to school to. I still do it, and I just love it. That's my real passion, you know.
It's not swimming, it's coaching football.
Yeah, I love putting that program together, swimming, but I really love football.
1995, the Larry Miller Swim School came to be with Larry and Rita. I love the fact they said you guys actually worked in area pools, and this number just staggered me. Your first few months, you had 2,000 classes per week, 2,000 in your classes per week.
We started in 1960.
Wow.
We were running an outdoor pool.
Yeah.
And the residential people didn't want us there because after the first year, because we filled that pool up. And then we ran at Skelly Junior High, and a couple years we had 4 pools running them in Tulsa Public Schools.
And then opened your school in 1995, right?
That's exactly correct.
64th and Mingo, and another one coming up this spring, right, Larry?
Right, and it's going to be 91st and Elwood.
Oh, in Jenks.
In Jenks area. And we're hoping to open it in April the 1st. You know how construction is.
Oh, yeah.
You do, don't you, Gil?
I sure do.
I imagine we asked for a show of hands of who has learned to swim at Miller Swim School or knows parents or kids that learned to swim at Miller Swim School. Half the hands of this place and Bricktown would go up here because we've got such a legacy here and so many kids and parents. Tell us about some of the classes and what you offer at Miller Swim School.
Well, we offer kids from 6 months on up. We offer adults. You can't just come in and walk into Miller Swim School and go swimming.
Yeah.
It's an organized program. We have 4 kids in the class, and we have a small swim team. You handle everything, and the water's 91 degrees.
Oh, nice.
And we have great water. Our filter system costs us about $45,000, and the water's beautiful. We have a standard. We teach kids there, like the Olympic swimmers swim.
Right.
And the reason why that I think that we've maintained ourselves is we have a standard.
Yeah.
And we maintain that standard.
Last couple of minutes we got here, Larry, your career obviously outstanding as a coach and what you've done. You've also done Ironman, correct?
I did.
You did.
I did.
But what do you think the most meaningful experience you had in coaching? What team or what individual or groups of individuals you had?
Well, that is really hard. That's a real hard question because I enjoyed all of them. I have coffee every morning, Monday through Friday, and I have some of my football players that I had at Hale High School. They're there every day.
That's great.
In fact, they brought me some brownies today. Yesterday was my birthday. So, you know what really made this thing work? I love people. And I look back, and what do I have to? It's all about relationships. That's all really life is. I had a great time at Hale. We were real successful at Hale. I had a great time at Booker T. I was with a great coach, and we had great kids. And I just think the whole thing was about relationships.
Well, some of the people that you were able to work with, H.J. Green, Hall of Famer, Ed Lacey, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you were in the right place at the right time, but you did a great job with those kids.
I'm going to tell you what made this really work. I have a great, great wife.
Rita.
Yes,
that's right.
Her name is Rita. Yeah. And we've been married 65 years. But she's a light of my life.
We're going to have a great time this coming Thursday, right, Coach? The
Thursday,
TPS inductions?
At the Southern Hills Marriott. 6:30, we'll have the induction ceremony. 5:30, we'll have the social hour. And if you get, this is going to be up on Wednesday, and I guarantee you got to call before 8 o'clock on Wednesday to get a ticket because we're almost sold out.
We have something for the coach and for Rita here?
You betcha. Anytime you get by Bricktown, our sponsor sure wants you to have a dinner on us.
Thanks.
You bet.
I'll probably take my wife.
You ought to, yeah.
Hall of Famer, a legend, and of course Miller Swim School. Larry Miller with us here on Oklahoma Sportscene. Right back, and we'll talk more about Tulsa Public Schools Hall of Fame when we come back.
March Madness. There's nothing like it. The road to the Final Four goes through Tulsa. The 2019 NCAA Men's Basketball first and second rounds, March 22nd and 24th at BOK Center in Tulsa.
Beautifully done. Deep splash. Feeling it today.
Visit ncaa.com/MBB tickets and get your seats today.
It's a great new year at Primo Mitsubishi. We're off to a big start and will continue in 2019. Come see our entire inventory of new 2018 and 19 Mitsubishis. Eclipse Cross, Mirage, Outlander Sport, Outlander, and Outlander PHEV. All come with Mitsubishi's new technology, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and our concierge service. Come see us at Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial, Bixby, or on the web at primomitsubishi.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene. We're here at Bricktown Brewery on 3300 South Peoria. Come in and join us. We have lots of beer and we have lots of burgers.
That's right.
And what's better than that?
That's right.
We're excited to introduce our 7th class into the TPS Athletics Hall of Fame on the 17th of January. And guys, I think this is a great, great class. We have 14 going in this time. We have the most posthumous inductees with 6 this year. But, no matter where you are, what class you're in, it doesn't make any difference because we have over 300 people still on the list. So it doesn't diminish you where you are.
Yeah. I was interested. We have 5 legends. Tommy Evans, William Lance, Ulysses Mitchell, Jim Shoulders, and Dan Crookham, someone you want to talk about.
Well, Dan Crookham, was responsible for taking the high school football team. Basically, they were all from Oklahoma, more from metropolitan Tulsa than anywhere else. And he took them to Russia. He took them to New Zealand. He took them to Great Britain. He took them to Australia.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, going with him to Russia was one of the most marvelous trips I have ever had, and the experience was just unbelievable. And Dan Crookham certainly deserves to be there, and what he did, and the kids who went with him, unbelievable.
And Dan posthumous way beyond the time he should have been.
Yeah.
At 58 years old. I mean, he was the athletic director at Edison at the time that he passed away, and was shoveling snow in his driveway.
Wow.
And but what a great, great individual to be around our kids.
And you met Larry Miller, of course, our TPS Hall of Famer with the Miller Swim School. Talk about Don Undernear, Webster High School coach, Gary Roberts of East Central, Terry Scott from Central, John Phillips, our great friend, of course, former TU coach, started at McLean, John Jackson, Janice Burbank Gibson, and Kent Bays, great inductees.
I tell you, this group right here is probably as good as any that we've seen over the years because of T. Scott won 5 state championships at Central. Unbelievable. And T. Scott called us today and went over his wardrobe with us. He wanted to make sure that he was dressed properly for this. But Don Undernear, what a great school man. Don played at Webster. He became the football coach at McLean, was the athletic director at McLean, came back to Webster as the principal, and we retired about 4 years ago as principal. So, these are all really great people, and what a great night it's going to be at the Marriott Southern Hills, starting at 6:30.
Come on and join us. Tulsa Public Schools Athletics Hall of Fame. We come back, we'll have our turn. It's Parting Shots next on Bricktown Brewery's Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
We're about to celebrate here at Bricktown Brewery here, guys. No, not yet, Coach. Okay, now you can take a sip. He's having the blueberry ale. I've got the big Old King Kanash here. We have single string stout, 3 Guardsmen, and Wiley Wheats and Millie McFadden. And we're going to have some fun here before we leave tonight, right?
Do we have any coupons for those?
Coupons. Let's start with our parting shots on. Coach Cobb starts us off. Gil?
My starting shot, Bill Haston today in the Tulsa World had a brilliant editorial about having a triple header for the 2 6A and the 1 5A championship football game. I think while the thought is good, I think logistically that makes it a kind of a difficult situation. First of all, the state of Oklahoma does not have a facility like AT&T Stadium. That is a problem. The west side doesn't like to travel to the east side, and the east side doesn't like to travel to the west side. And of course, with the dominance over the past few years of the east side in 5 and 6A football, that would be a problem. I think the logistics of ticket sales, sponsorships, and everything will need to be worked out. And then we have the small schools. And somebody asked me, I think Chris asked me the other day, he said, how does that go? I said, well, every school has a vote. Now, Godibo, who has 15 students, K through 12, and Broken Arrow, who has 5,000 in the high school, have 1 vote each. That's not fair. So it may be a few years before we have a triple header.
JV?
Well, I'd like to continue what we were talking about on the Tulsa Public Schools Hall of Fame. Some of the gentlemen that are to be coming in is just unbelievable, and we can sit here and tell so many great stories about them. But every one of them have left their impression on young men and young women as a result of what they have done while they were coaching and teaching in the Tulsa Public Schools. So I'd like to encourage you, if you have an opportunity to go, it's tomorrow night, but you still maybe could get in. But more importantly, let the people know that you appreciate what Gil Cloud and the Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Department is doing to recognize these people.
It's going to be a great event. Transfer portal. You've heard a lot about that in the last week or so. That finally gives an athlete who wishes to transfer the opportunity to let people around the country know, I want to leave, I'm looking for a new home. The coaches, of course, now can feel free to contact any of these guys that enter the transfer portal. For instance, Austin Kendall, the OU quarterback, now he wants to think about transferring. How's this worked out? Well, not bad for Oklahoma. The last 2 years, Baker Mayfield, and of course, Kyler Murray, back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners. Good things, bad things about transfer portal. Not so good when it's taken away from your school. If we can get somebody like Jalen Hurt coming from Alabama to Oklahoma, transfer portal might work out just fine for the fans. Well, guys, next week's show, this should be fun. Jim Traver, from the sports animal, you know him well in Oklahoma City, across the state of Oklahoma. He is something else.
The wild man, there's no question, the ultimate, and he'll be here with us. And a good friend of yours will be here.
Jim Wilburn, talk about Major League Fishing. Jim has done an incredible job with sports production with Wintercom, with cable, Skycam, with Cable Cam, and now with Major League Fishing. Have a great conversation with my old partner, Jim Wilburn. And then Emmett Hahn, hopefully back here to wrap up the Chili Bowl. And you got there, you fans, Chili Bowl racing all week in Tulsa. Incredible event. Great for the city. Provide $30 million economic impact of the Chili Bowl. Thanks for joining us here at Bricktown Brewery. Okay, guys, toast, enjoy. Now's the time.
There we go.
Cheers.